Riverdale Season 4 premiered last night, and we barely saw it through all of our tears. We'll tell you what happened and why some fans think that Jughead is dead. I'm Kelsey Banas, and you're watching The Daily Report. I'm feeling like a Southside Serpent today with my leather jacket, so I'm on brand. After a long summer, we finally got the premiere of Riverdale last night, and there was not a dry eye in the house, or probably the world. Last March, actor Luke Perry, who played Fred Andrews, tragically passed away after a massive stroke. Friends and coworkers of the actor were absolutely stunned, but once time had passed, they did have to figure out how they were going to handle his passing on the show. And the episode last night was not just a love letter to his character, but also to the actor himself. The episode was a little slower than usual and not as heavy on the plot, as they wanted to give Fred and Luke a proper send-off. Spoiler alert from here on out. On the show, Archie was alerted that his father had passed after a hit and run. Fred, the always noble gentleman, had stopped on the side of the road to help a woman when he was struck by a vehicle. In the process, he also managed to save the woman's life, pushing her out of the way of the car. After going to identify the body, Archie learns that the man who had committed the act turned himself in and is out on bail. Archie goes to confront him, only to find out that the man was covering for his teenage son, who had committed the crime while driving without a license. This makes Archie pause because he was about to attack a man who was trying to protect his son, and honestly, Fred would have done the same thing for Archie. Once they are ready to transport the body from the funeral home in another town back to Riverdale, Archie is offered a police escort, and on the way, he is met with a parade of love as the entire town waits along the streets to welcome Archie and Fred home. We see how every single character, no matter where they are, is affected by his passing, while Jughead writes Fred's obituary and we hear it in voiceover. It was truly a touching episode, and when it came to the decision on how Fred would go, showrunner Roberto Aguirre-Sacasa explained, quote, "Very early on, we landed on the idea that Fred should have a heroic death, and that would be impactful for Archie, and it felt like that's a way that Fred could have gone." He went on to say that they knew the specific episode wouldn't launch any huge stories, and that they decided to only keep the focus on the characters and the kind of emotional effects of that passing for everyone. We are definitely glad they took the time to honor Luke Perry, and it seems that next week we'll be back to our normally insane Riverdale episodes, which is good because the finale left us with a ton of questions. Like, why were they all standing around a bonfire in their underwear covered in blood? Why was Archie holding Jughead's beanie but Jughead was nowhere to be found? Is Jughead dead? Unless Jughead killed someone and they are covering for him? That's the basis for one Reddit theory that argues Jughead kills Charles, the FBI agent, which would explain why Betty is the one giving orders during that scene. She's covering for her boyfriend. They also point out Betty has the most blood on her hands, so she could be the driving force behind the murder. Another theory is they actually killed Hiram, but I feel like Veronica would be the one calling the shots during that scene, if that were the case. So many theories, I guess we'll just have to wait and watch and see, because Riverdale, you never know what's coming. We don't know what's gonna happen, but we wanna know what you guys think. What are your theories of what might have happened to Jughead? Let us know in the comments below, and thank you all so much for tuning in to our Awesomeness TV Daily Report channel. It's where we are now, so make sure to subscribe. Ooh, this is like my new thing. I'm Kelsey Banas, and last night's episode was so special.